I spent a few weeks trying to figure out how to make AI cartoon videos easily, but everything changed when Seedance 2.0 dropped. Now with this new AI model, anyone can create animations in just a few minutes, and in today's video, I'm going to show you the exact workflow behind it. So by the end of this, you'll have everything you need to turn ideas into animations without feeling overwhelmed. Now take a look at this. The animation looks smooth and the action comes out super clean. And that's actually very rare in AI videos. Most models are good at giving you one nice looking generation, but they struggle hard once you ask for multiple shots. The moment a new scene starts, the details shift, and your character suddenly looks like a completely different person. The face, the style, and even the outfit start moving away from what you originally wanted. But what makes Seedance 2.0 different is the consistency from shot to shot. For today's example, I'll be using OpenArt with the new Seedance 2.0 update. Once you're inside, click on video and then on text to video. For the model, I'm selecting Seedance 2.0 and I'll start with a basic anime scene prompt. I'll leave the audio on, and for the mode, I'll select normal. Now the reason you don't want to choose the fast mode is because the model will give you the result as fast as possible, but the overall quality will be lower. I'll choose the ratio and the highest resolution available. Now let's click generate and see what we get back. This looks really clean. The anime style is exactly what I wanted and the motion feels natural. But here's where it gets interesting. I'm going to take the exact same prompt, change just the last few words to Pixar 3D and generate again without touching anything else. As you can see, the action is the same, but the visual style is now completely different. And honestly, this looks exactly like a scene from a Pixar movie. So let me test it with one more. This time I'm swapping to clay animation. I'll keep all the settings the same and press generate. Seedance 2.0 really nailed it. I really like the clay style that the characters have, but you can play around with this however you want. You can control the entire video using just a few words, but there is one problem. Every time you hit generate, the model creates a new character because it doesn't have a memory to remember things. Now if you look back at the video that I showed you at the very beginning, the consistency was insane thanks to the character feature. So to use it, let's go to the specific tab inside OpenArt and click on Create Character. Here you'll see three options, one with images, one with simple text, and another one with multiple choices. I'll go with the second one to show how much control this gives you before moving into the next level. Now I'll choose the Nano Banana Pro model, as it's one of the best AIs when it comes to image quality. Then you can simply start writing the prompt for your character. You can include multiple details to get as close as you can to the style you want, or you can simply choose from the pre-made styles available inside OpenArt. You can pick from photorealistic, anime, Pixar, or even fantasy. I'm going with Pixar since that's the look I want for my animation. I'll write this for the prompt. As you can see, I'm describing the appearance, the clothing, and how I want the character to come across in the design. And that's because the more specific you are with these AI generators, the better the results will be. So here is the output from this. All four options came out strong, but I went with the second one from the left. The pose feels the most natural and confident. The face has the most expression and charm, with lighting that just works perfectly. It's the one that felt most like a real character, not just a render, so I'll save it. From this point on, every time I bring this character into a scene, it will look exactly the same, because it's now saved in memory. But let's actually see if this works with a new generation. So I'm going back to text to video, and I'll choose Seedance 2.0, but this time, before I even touch the prompt, I'm adding the character I just saved. I'll write the first scene prompt for this scene, but the important part here is what I'm actually focusing on inside the prompt. As you can see, I'm not trying to rebuild the character from scratch every single time. Now all I need to give to the model is the scene, the action, and the camera direction. And that's exactly why this works so much better than the normal approach, as most of the work is already handled by the character setup. But let's generate this and see if it actually holds up. And as you can see, it keeps it perfectly across a completely different scene. The face and the design are both the same, and the proportions also stayed locked in. But now let me push it even further. I'll go with a different location, mood, and lighting to see if the exact same character shows up. And here are the results we get back. The AI followed my prompt perfectly. It changed the entire environment while keeping my character the same. Once you see this happen a few more times, you start to realize something important. Character consistency is actually very easy to keep once you have the right tools. But there's still one missing piece that decides whether this actually feels like a cartoon or not, and that's the voice. Seedance 2.0 is really good with audio, but what happens if you want a specific voice for your character? Well, you don't need to go back and forth to other AI tools because OpenArt has everything you need inside. To fully customize your character's voice, go to the audio tab and click on Create Voiceover. Here, the first thing you want to select is the model. For this, I highly recommend going with 11 Labs, as it's one of the leading audio tools in the entire AI space. Once you select the model, you can choose from dozens of pre-made voices, and what's actually impressive is that you can find the exact one you're looking for using the filters. I can choose the exact accent for my character's voice, so I'll go with American, then I'll select the gender and age. Now one really useful thing here is the use case. With with this, you can instantly find voices that match the type of content you're creating. They can be educational, for advertisements, and even for social media. But this is just one setting. You can also control how the voice sounds with speed, stability, and even style exaggeration. These are pretty straightforward, but also very handy when you want even more control over your character's voice. For speed, I'm keeping it close to natural because that's the safest range. The moment it gets too fast or too slow, it starts sounding obviously robotic. Then there's stability, which controls how consistent the delivery feels from line to line. I'm pushing that up slightly because I want the character to sound grounded and steady. And then there's similarity boost, which determines how closely the generated audio sticks to the original voice sample. I'll leave it as it is since the character already sounds good enough. And then there's style exaggeration, which I'll increase just a little bit. This gives the voice more expression, so I'll make these changes and then move on to the prompt section. Here, you simply add the speech you want for your character.
I've traveled across the Great Divide and climbed the highest peaks just to find you. This battle ends today, right here on the roof of the world.
The tone matches the character I built earlier, and it actually sounds like a real person. It's direct and clear without feeling forced or overly dramatic. So let's download it and go back to the video section. Here, you want to make sure Seedance 2.0 is selected as the AI model, and that's not only because it generates top quality visuals and movement, it's because this model can take multiple references at the same time and use them together. You can upload images, audio files, and even videos, so instead of giving it one fresh prompt and hoping it matches your last scene, you can just reference it and it'll build on top of it just like we did with the character. And that changes everything when you're turning separate clips into one continuous episode. So alongside the character reference, I'm also adding the first scene clip as a video reference, as well as the audio we generated earlier. Now I'll write the next prompt for my second scene. With this, it can now look at where the previous scene ended in the last clip and continue from that point. So let's generate it and see what comes back.
I've traveled across the Great Divide and climbed the highest peaks just to find you.
And as you can see, this already feels connected to the first scene. So when you watch those two clips back to back, it looks like a smooth transition. And with this strategy, you can create as many new scenes as you want. All you really need to do is change the video reference with the latest clip and write a new prompt. And because I want to build a 3-scene animation, I'm going to do this step one more time. I'll change the video reference, and now I'll paste in my prompt. And here is the result we get back. Again, this looks extremely good. But before we can actually see the entire video we built, we need to put all 3 scenes together. For this, you can use any editing software like CapCut or DaVinci. It doesn't really matter as we're only going to be using it for a simple task. So I'll take all my generations and bring them into CapCut. Once I'm inside, I'll arrange everything, then export it. It's actually that simple. So now let's watch the final animation.
I've traveled across the Great Divide and climbed the highest peaks just to find you. This battle ends today, right here, on the roof of the world.
This actually looks like a scene from a Pixar movie. The motion feels very natural, the character's voice matches the face, and the transitions between shots are really smooth. But that's actually something you normally get with this workflow. So if you want to create cartoons that look this good, go sign up for OpenArt using the link in the description and make your first one today. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.